to another episode of Chia has read the most books, and Jake is slacking.
On today's episode of Laugh and Be Blessed, we'll discuss how I'm far superior to my husband.
On so many different levels. Thank you guys so much for downloading and listening to and subscribing to and liking and sharing and commenting Laugh and Be Blessed, the podcast that gives you nothing and asks for so much in return. We're just, we're happy to be here in our room.
Yeah. Still.
But we're getting so close.
We are.
So close.
We are.
And by so close, I mean not a whole lot of work has been done, but a lot of money has been spent.
Yep.
So it's getting there.
The electrical work should be going up soon.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with it. I'll figure it out. But yeah, thanks for being not here. Like, why do people say that?
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for being here. It's like, you're not here, though.
In our hearts.
And you're always on my mind. How many people just tuned out? Well, I'm your host, Jake Rubel, and with me, as always, we have to figure out how we can just not be the same thing over and over and over again. Every podcast is the exact same. Every podcast is the same. There's nothing different on any podcast. What are we even doing?
We're just talking.
All right.
They choose to listen.
Do they?
I don't know.
Or do we just
I don't look at the
them?
numbers.
Or do we just bag them?
Please be my friend.
Oh my gosh. We do have some things to get into. We do have some things to talk about. And it is going to be one of the greatest shows you've ever heard.
You still haven't mentioned my name.
I don't have to do everything. You could just say it.
Say my name.
You could just say it.
I know, I feel awkward.
Tilt it up just a little bit. Now it's I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
I think I have the levels all the way up.
This is your host with the most, Chia Rubel.
That's what you're going to go with?
The most books read so far.
Okay, well, that's rude. And I don't know why you would just come right out and say it like that, but it is true. It is true.
Yeah.
Do you just want to start there?
No. Let's go through the motions. Where's Jake going to be?
I don't even know, dude.
You do know where you're going to be.
Yeah, I know. Just kidding. All right. Let's. I guess we could just talk about that. Dude, I'm so off right now. Mentally and physically so off. Before we get into anything, I almost died last night.
No, you didn't almost die.
No, I'm pretty sure that I almost died last night.
You didn't almost die.
Look, I felt like I was going to die, and then you checked my blood pressure, and you said, well, maybe.
I didn't say, well, maybe.
You were like, not right now, but it's going to happen.
I said it's high.
So it turns out being fat isn't cool.
I mean, I wouldn't say you're fat.
I think the numbers would disagree.
I mean, there's other factors that go into your blood pressure being high.
Look, that's not the kind of high I'm trying to get. So, yeah, had a little bit of an issue last night. I was having a horrible headache and felt... I've been feeling foggy for like 2 weeks. Just like I can't concentrate on anything. And last night, Chia was like, do you want me to check your blood pressure? And I was like, no. Just because I knew.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I'm going to go ahead and check it. And it was pretty high.
Yeah.
And
not stroke level high, not I need
yeah,
to
but
take
here's
you
the
to
issue.
The ED.
Okay, here's the issue. When you're like, well, it's not stroke level high, that means it's pretty dang high.
I mean, you weren't like close to stroke level high, but enough that we know for sure we've got to make changes, which this is supposed to be our year of health anyways.
That, and it's not at all. It's been the opposite. Yeah. I've gained weight this year. You haven't. You've lost weight. I've gained weight this year, and I have zero exercise whatsoever. Like, I took this month very slow on shows and was just like, I'm just going to relax and just, like, get my mind right and just chill because
that's seriously.
I got a bunch of stuff coming up. I took it so serious. I was like, I'm laying down for 2 months. In this 1 month, I'm laying down for 2 months. That's all I've been doing. Like, dude, literally I spent 2 days in bed, I think.
Well, So on this glorious Father's Day, I made him go for a walk, and he we will be going for walks every single day.
Well, yesterday we went for a nice little walk. So we went to McCormick's Creek State Park, which is I think it's the first state park in Indiana.
Oh.
Yeah. I want to say the country, but that's not right. But at least it's the first state park in Indiana. And we went there yesterday, and there's like a waterfall there. And it was super hot, so we just took the kids there to go swimming and everything. And kids like immediately climbed up the waterfall and was gone.
Which it was crazy to watch them do, because I was so nervous, and I just kept looking at Jake like, I mean, I did it at their age, but...
Right. Yeah. So then she was like, what do we do? And I was like, follow. So
we climbed it.
So we climbed it, and then we seen some of our friends were up there with their kids, so we hung out with them for a little bit. And that was nice. That was like a nice little surprise.
Yeah.
And then we just kept walking, and we walked all the way up the creek. Not all the way. We didn't end up in the ocean. I don't know. Where do creeks go? Where do they come from?
Where does that creek go, Jake?
That creek goes to the White River.
Okay, but I don't know where it comes from.
Exactly. Where's it start at? Don't look it up. We'll figure that out later. Tune in next week where we find out where McCormick's Creek comes from.
Is it called McCormick's Creek just because it goes through that state park?
I would assume so.
I would
assume that the park was named after the creek.
That's probably true.
Yeah, I don't think they did it the other way. But anyways, we walked up there, and we walked for a long time, and we ended up at one point looked at the time and was like, oh dude, we've been walking for like an hour and a half, 2 hours now. And it didn't feel like it. Like, typically whenever we do anything like this, it feels like such a chore. Because, like, we're doing it for health reasons. We're not doing it because we want to do it. We're doing it because we're like, we got to get healthy and everything. So, we have some really nice trails cut through our woods here. We'll walk the trails here. We'll walk the roads here sometimes. But it just always feels like such a chore. Like, I have to do this. And it didn't. It didn't there. It was just like we were just exploring and having fun. And we would stop sometimes. And the kids would swim a little. And, we were just looking for crawdads and stuff. And, it was just a good time. So we were like, oh man, we've been walking for like 2 hours now. Like, that's wild. So, we went and had like a little picnic and everything. And we came back home. And then today, and then I almost died last night. I don't want you guys to forget about that. You almost lost me. And then this morning, Chia wakes me up and is like, hey, we're going to go for a walk. We need to at least do like 40, 45-minute walks every single day. And I was like, oh, okay, fine. And we went on a walk, and it was only 45 minutes. And it felt like so long.
It was so much longer than walking through the creek. By the way, it's not named after the creek.
Okay. It's named after...
John McCormick.
Right. But it's called McCormick's Creek State Park.
Right, but it was not named after the creek, so maybe the creek was given that same name.
Okay. I don't think so. Because why would they name... I think the creek was named after McCormick. Mm-hmm. And then the park was named after McCormick as well, but it's McCormick's Creek.
I don't know. I'll have to do some more research.
Yeah, that would make no... His name wasn't Creek McCormick. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I don't know. All I'm saying is if you feel like exercise, walk up a creek. Just walk up a creek. It's so much better.
It really is.
Yeah. Anyways, here's where I'm going to be.
Mark your calendars. Jake could be coming to a town near you.
I've had some pretty fun shows recently. I've only had 2, so I did Forever Fest at Stable Studios. Mm-hmm. Dude, another beautiful place to walk around.
So beautiful.
That place is amazing. So Stable Studios, it's in Spencer.
It's like right outside.
Yeah, it's close to Patricksburg, but it's basically Spencer. But it is, I think it's still a Spencer address. But anyways, I guess supposedly, like, the family used to own a bunch of horses, like race horses or something, and then kind of got out of that and then turned the stable into a recording studio and a venue. And it's beautiful there. It's so nice. So that was great. And then there were some great people that were on the lineup. Griffin Swank was there, a buddy of mine from Texas. Just amazing musician. His whole band, like that was the first time I've seen him with his whole band. It was fantastic. So he was there, and Todd Snyder was headlining, which I had never even heard of Todd Snyder until he started singing, and I was like, oh, I've heard these songs.
Yeah.
So everybody was like, dude, how do you not know who it is? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just being honest. Like, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just being honest with you. And yeah, it was just a really, really good time, and I'll be back there soon. But so I had that show. And then on the 15th, I had a small show in Seymour, Indiana. And you never know what to think about these shows. Like, I was like, I don't know. Like, well, it's for a friend. Like, my friend Griffin, Shira, was putting it on. A lot of Griffins in this podcast.
Yeah.
A lot of Griffins going on. I've been watching a lot of Peter Griffin. I've been studying mythology with Griffins. Okay, anyways. But it was in a Knights of Columbus building, and it was sold out. There was like 200 people there, sold out. Like they couldn't fit any more people in there, I guess. It was so good. Like so much better than it had any right to be. I did not think it was going to go that well. But man, it was great. It was me, Griffin, David Brooks, and Blake Hammond. And everybody crushed. Everybody had great sets. It was so much fun. And I had a blast. Like there was like 10 minutes I wasn't even doing material. I was just talking, and people were eating it up. I loved it. Had so much fun. So hopefully they said that they're going to do it again, and I was like, well, I'll be back for sure. So that's where I've been. Where I don't have any shows until the end of this month. But at the end of this month, on June 28th, I'll be in Atlanta, Georgia at Best in Brewing. I always do this. Brewing. Yeah, because I want to say brewery, which is also a stupid word. Say it.
Brewery.
Not fun.
I actually kind of like brewery.
It's because
Roads.
Well, it's because whoever was the first one to say brewery, it's because they were trying to say brewing, but they were super drunk and they were just like, no, it's a brewery. It's a brewery. So that is June 28th. I will be there with AJ Wilkerson. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then on the 29th, all of these say the same, and that's not true. I don't know where I'm going to be on the 29th. Hold on a second. I'm also in Atlanta, Georgia. Just so everyone knows, still in Atlanta, Georgia, but it's actually going to be Sweetwater Brewing. So Sweetwater Brewing in Atlanta, Georgia, and then on the 30th, I will be at the Tannery Row Ale House. So
in Atlanta,
Georgia. All those shows are in Atlanta, Georgia. And then I'm going to be, looks like in July 2nd, I have a private show in Terre Haute that I'll be doing. So that sounds like fun. A lot of times those are really good. And then July 13th, I'm at, I'm in Wichita, Kansas. So Wichita, Kansas, July 13th. Again, I'm with AJ Wilkerson on that date. And then July 14th, 15th, and 16th, I'm in Tulsa, Oklahoma with Jay Muse and AJ Wilkerson. Those are going to be super fun. I've not worked with Jay in a couple months, so I'm really looking forward to that. And then July 21st, I'm in Munising, Michigan. Dude, that's like as far up as you can get in Michigan, really. Oh my gosh, dude. I took the gig because I was like, yeah, it's Michigan. Totally fine. Not a big deal. It's like a Thursday, Michigan. All right, yeah, let's do it. And then I looked, and I have to go through Chicago, through Wisconsin. It's up above Wisconsin. It's on lakes. It's literally on Lake Superior.
Is it like on the Upper Peninsula, or? I
think it's like the top of it. Like, I'll show you in a little bit. It's crazy.
Maybe I'll go with you.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. So, I bet it will be really pretty. It looks like a very pretty lake town, so I'm excited about that. And then July 23rd, back at Stable Studios for Dark Side of the Barn.
Yeah.
That's going to be fantastic. There is Adam Hartmother is going to be there, which is a Pink Floyd cover band, and they're going to be doing the entire Dark Side of the Moon album. That is going to be so much fun. Also, Free is going to be there, which is a Fish tribute band, and they're fantastic. So good. Graciously Departed is going to be there, which is a Grateful Dead tribute band. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited.
That is going to be such a fun night.
Yes.
So if you're anywhere around Spencer, Indiana, get tickets to this before they sell out, because it's going to be so much fun. So that is what I've got going on. Shows. Speaking of shows, let's talk a little bit about what we've been watching.
Yes.
What are we watching?
Why don't you get us started on this one, hot mama?
Okay, so taking a break from rewatching Supernatural. I have
Dude, I forgot I was rewatching that
Did you?
until you just now said that, and I was like, oh yeah, dude.
And then what I've been watching whenever I do just watch TV by myself, and watched a little bit with Jake last night, is Game of Thrones. I'm rewatching that to get ready for August 25th, which airs... Why can I not think of it? Oh, House of the Dragon.
You said that's so weird, though.
I was really trying to think.
Well, you, reversed it. You were like... You said the date, and you said which airs, where you should have said the title, which airs on the day.
But I couldn't think of the title, so I was, filling in words.
How do you feel about the fact that Matt Smith is in it?
Oh, I'm excited.
So, I am too.
Yeah.
Mostly because I've seen him in some other things. So, for those of you that don't know, Matt Smith was one of the doctors. He was in a movie that blew my mind.
What movie?
It's called Charlie's Girls.
Oh.
He played Charles Manson in a movie.
Oh.
And he did so good.
Really?
Honestly, one of my favorite portrayals, right? Portrayals. I have some portrayals around here. They're just not a lot of money. A portrayal is basically where you just walk through the woods. There's not a trail there. You just can't afford to make one. You're just going to walk through the woods. That's a portrayal. But it's so stupid. It's Father's Day. Leave me alone. Yeah, he did such a fantastic job. So I am excited about it because I do think he's a fantastic actor.
Well, rewatching Game of Thrones, I don't even know if I can accurately say I'm rewatching it because I didn't realize how much of it I didn't watch to begin with. So me and Jake started watching the series together, and I kind of fell off. I was like, I'm not really that into it. The storylines were a little confusing to me at the time. But every once in a while, he'd be watching, and I'd be like, what's going on? And he'd fill me in, and I'd watch the next episode, and he'd be like, okay, this is what happened in the last one. So I knew a lot of this stuff happened, and in my mind, I thought I had watched them. But I'm in season 3, and yeah, I haven't watched a ton of these episodes. So there's 8 seasons. I probably didn't start watching it consistently with Jake until season 4 or something.
Right.
So
there's
but
a
I'm
bunch
enjoying
of this,
it.
So there's so much of this stuff that you just don't even don't recognize at all.
I knew it happened, but no, I didn't watch it happen. It's just from you telling me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even though I watched every single episode of it, some of them more than once because I'd watch it and then rewatch it with you. If it was a really good episode, I'm like, dude, you have to see this. I watched those episodes with you last night, and I was just like, dude, I have no idea what's going on. I kind of want to go back and start rewatching it again, and I probably should before the House of the Dragon series, but, dude, it's so much. Mm-hmm. It's just so much. And also, I know the way it ends, so that makes it, for me, it's just different. Because I'm and I'm not saying I hated the way that it ended, because I know a lot of people hated the way it ended.
I did.
To me, it was just kind of okay, well, that's just what they wanted, so it is what it is. But, dude, it's just, I feel like it's so much work for such little payoff.
For the end, that's what, but I'm just trying to get up to, season 8, episode 3 again.
Yeah.
I literally, not too long ago, rewatched that episode.
I know, you told me.
God, it's so good.
Yeah. So is that all you've been watching, really, is Game of Thrones?
Other than South Park with you.
Dude, that's almost all I've been watching. So, Stephen Porter, which is, one of the loves of my life. I do love him.
Second only to me.
I do love him. He told me a while back, he was like, dude, you have to watch South Park. And I was like, dude, I don't know, man. I was like, I'm just not, like, it's just not funny to me anymore. Like, I'm just not into it anymore. And he was like, bro, trust me. He was like, but you have to watch them in order now. I was like, what? And he goes, dude, there's like a storyline. And that is true, but not necessarily. Like, you can jump around a little, but a lot of times there'll be like 3 or 4 episodes in a row where you have to watch them. But it's better if you watch them all, because I started like season 15 or something like that. And I watched all the way up to whatever's the most current on HBO. But I liked it because there are like things, it'll be like 2 seasons later, and there was like a little character that something happened to, and they continue that story. It's just really cool how they do it, to where it's just like, remember this? And I did like that. So I ended up really getting into it. I pushed myself through it and was like, just get into it. And it's cool because this show, like Family Guy, Family Guy's still on, right?
I think so.
I don't feel like it's ever evolved. I don't feel like it ever changed. I feel like that cartoon pretty much stayed the same. It's the same thing over and over again. With South Park, I think they evolved with their audience. Like, they aged with their audience. I think at some point they were like, hey, all the people that were watching the show when they were like 13 are like in their 30s now. You know, so like the same jokes, like we could keep some of the same stuff in it, but like we can't keep doing the same thing. So a lot of times in the newer episodes, it doesn't even have anything to do with the kids. It's the parents.
Yeah.
Like, and I think it was just a really cool transition that they did, to where it was just like, all right, let's do this now. And there's some things that they do that I was just like, nah, I don't really care for that, but who cares? Whatever. I enjoyed it so much that whenever I was done, I was like, well, now what do I do? Because I forgot about Supernatural. So season 1, started it over again. And I think we're on season 4 now. We're on like season 4, episode 1. And I know that it's dumb to like... But dude, I'm enjoying it.
I'm enjoying it.
It's super funny, and so just like, you don't have to.
I think
you just get in. You know?
I enjoy it even more because I wasn't allowed to watch that growing up.
Yeah.
Which for good reason. My kids aren't allowed to watch it either.
Right. Yeah.
Now, when I was a teenager and stuff, I probably could have at friends' houses, but none of my friends really watched South Park or anything. So. Yeah,
it was one of those shows that like. I remember whenever I was real little, going to the fair, and everything at the fair was South Park.
Really?
Everything there was South Park. Like, all the prizes, everything was like Kenny and Cartman, and like, it was just like everything there. And I remember winning a prize. I was probably like, I don't know, 10 maybe, 10 to 13. I'm bad with numbers. It could have been last week, but I remember winning. Do you remember whenever they used to give out like it would be like just these square pictures with like white trim around it, like cardboard white trim around it, and then like a piece of glass. But it was just like a printed out picture on like cardstock. So you remember how they would do that? They would do like Tupac and everything, and like you would win, and you would get these pictures. I remember winning a kitty. One that was like, I was like, I want that one, and it was Kenny, and it was like the rats dragging him off. Yeah. And that was hanging in my room for years.
Really?
Yes. And even after I wasn't really into South Park anymore, I was just kind of like, I like that. I don't know why.
I like my Kenny.
Yeah, I don't know why, but yeah, I've been enjoying it. It's kind of nice because like my uncle was the first person to show me South Park.
Of course.
Of course. And he still quotes it, but he only quotes like the first season. I don't know if he ever watched that much more of it, but I love it. I love the show. I think that it is, I think it's really good writing, which sounds stupid, but it is. Yeah. Like, I don't know about the older episodes are you can see how them grow through each season. I think
I like it because it is highly offensive, but it's offensive to everybody.
Right.
Everybody. It's going to pick on every little thing. It's kind of like it's one of the reasons why lots of times I liked, now it's not as offensive, but why I liked Key and Peele.
Yeah.
It's because
Well, you're like, what? What'd you say?
Key and Pill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because they'd be offensive to different groups.
I thought you said King of Hill.
No, Key and Peele.
And it's like, what?
But like, you know, in their sketches, they'll be offensive to all kinds of different people. But no one in particular. They're like, whoever.
I also don't feel like it's ever like hatred.
No,
you know?
Exactly. It's like,
just like, no,
it's
we're
what comedy is.
fun.
Comedy does that. Comedy makes fun of everyone's life, everything going on. Not to be mean, just to be like, hey, we all got stuff going on.
Sure.
Let's just laugh and go through it and do our best to be good people.
Well, also, I think the way that, at least with South Park, what I've noticed is a lot of times the way that they do it, it's almost satire.
Yeah.
It's like we're making fun of the thing that we think that people
Yeah.
It's kind of like there's a comedian named Brent Terhune, who's super funny, fantastic, but he does like this satire thing where it's like, you know, he'll be sitting in a car and like through COVID, whenever people were like making fun of masks and everything, he'll do a satire thing where he's pretending to be those people making fun of masks, but really making fun of those people.
Yes.
And I think a lot of times that's what South Park is doing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, we're making fun of the thing that's making fun of the thing. Mm-hmm. I don't know. And then
that's
other
how
times,
I take it.
Other times it's just being mean. But I'm not like, I mean, sometimes I'm like, I wasn't into that. I didn't like that one. But yeah, that's all. That's literally all I've been watching. But I have been playing a lot of things.
Yes.
What games are we playing?
Before I get into this, I just want to say something. I don't know how many people have downloaded this podcast to listen to it based off of my Facebook post here lately, but this, I don't know if you were like expecting like a stand-up comedian podcast. This is literally just me and my wife Chia hanging out, talking about our day-to-day life. Some people are into it and some people are not. So I feel weird sometimes whenever someone downloads the podcast and then talks to me about it later.
Really?
And they're like, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. And I'm like, I know, like, I get it, but like, I just feel like there's so many other comedian podcasts.
Yeah.
To where it's just like, I kind of wanted to just do something a little different. Mm-hmm. So it's like us just hanging out and talking about.
Well, might not be your cup of tea, but.
Drink it anyways.
So before you start, I want to talk about what I've been playing.
Yes.
Nothing. So there you go.
I got so excited for a second because I thought you were like secretly playing something.
I wanted to be involved.
You're not, nothing, huh? Nothing on your phone or anything?
No.
Nope, just a lot of reading.
Yep.
We'll talk about that later. Okay, so...
So you can feel better about me in one aspect. Like, you're just beating games left and right.
Well, I'm not beating them. I'm playing them. I haven't beaten any of them yet,
How do you do that?
What?
How do you not just concentrate on one game until you beat it? Like, that's why I
Look how I read. You used to say the same thing about how I read. And now you read the same way I do.
But I don't. Because I still finish those books.
Whatever. I finish them eventually.
Yeah, whenever, you know, like last year I was 4 books ahead of you, and then you're like, oh, I got a bunch of books that are halfway read. I'm going to just crank them out over the next 2 weeks, and you beat me, so.
You just said crank it out and beat in the same sentence, and this is a family show, so.
Where did you go with that?
Anyways,
Jesus.
I've been playing quite a few games, actually, and it's been a blast. Like, I've not been this into video games in so long. So, I've been playing Gun, and I've actually been doing, like, a live... what?
I just have good memories of that.
Oh, yeah.
Jake played that when we were first dating, and... I don't know. I just remember going over to his house and hanging out a lot while he played video games. I know it sounds stupid, okay?
Well, I enjoyed it too because that let me know that you were rad because you let me bring a small TV into the living room to sit next to the big TV so we could watch a movie together while I finished my game.
And he let me have the big TV.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, whatever you want. And I'm pretty sure it was Smallville.
I think it was.
Yeah, I think that was whenever we were first watching Smallville. That's back whenever you used to have to get the Netflix DVDs in the mail.
Yes, and if you were smart, you got the 2 discs so you could watch one while you sent the other back. Mm-hmm. And by the time the new one came,
I think we did 3 discs.
I think that was towards the end.
Okay, but So Gun is such a good game. I've been enjoying it a lot. So I've been playing it on Twitch, which if you are into that, it's just twitch.tv/Jake_Rubel. And I'd appreciate a follow on there, just to be honest, because I'm trying to figure out what to do here. But the shed isn't set up yet, so I'm not doing a ton of streams on there. I've only done a few. When it gets, like, it's just not super comfortable yet. But anyway, so I've been playing that, really enjoy it. Also played Need for Speed a lot on the GameCube lately.
That a lot on the PlayStation.
Yeah, I've been enjoying that. I have some new PlayStation 2 games that I really want to check out. Huge shout out to my buddy Dustin for hooking me up. He brought me some of the PS2 he didn't play anymore and some of his PS2 games, and I didn't have any of the games, and a few of them like Devil May Cry 3, never played it, always wanted to. So I'm really excited. So thanks to my dude for that. Also, huge shout out to Drake Ranner. Drake hooked me up with a Nintendo 64 and some games. I didn't have any of those games, so I was really excited about that. So thank you for that, my guy. And anyways, and Gavin, and there was Gavin. Gavin sent me. He's a new fan. Friend is weird.
Yeah.
So friend, new pal in Tennessee, and mailed me a box full of Game Gear games. He was just like, I know you're rebuilding your collection. You want I don't have a Game Gear. I don't have anywhere to put these. So here, these are yours. Super nice. Really, really appreciated that.
You know, saying friend is like my new way of getting someone's attention, because in the world we live in now, like, I don't know how someone identifies.
Sure.
And I don't ever want to be rude.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be like, excuse me, person.
Yeah.
So if, like, there's someone who maybe I like their shirt or something, I'll be like, excuse me, friend, excuse me.
Yeah.
I really like that shirt you're wearing.
So I think because I look like a burnout, it helps me in those, because I call everyone man.
Yeah.
And, like, everyone. Very Tommy Chong of me. Like, everyone, I'm like, hey, man, I just call everyone man. And no one takes it like a sexist gender thing. I'm not saying you're a man.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, hey, man.
It's kind of like, which I don't ever use this because not everyone was born in our era, but dude.
Yeah.
Dude, because I'm a dude.
Yeah, he's a dude.
He's a dude. She's a dude. We're all dudes. Hey. If you know, you know.
Yeah. So anyways, I've been playing those. But here lately, and here's a cool thing about what we've been playing lately too. So somebody a while back gave me a Game Boy Pocket. I've never had a Game Boy Pocket. I was very excited. I turned it on, and it would come on, but the screen wouldn't come on. I was like, oh, dude, are you kidding me? So, like, I just left it, like, with all the other video game stuff. Well, the other day, I was kind of going through things, and Roman, his Switch stopped working. One of his switches stopped working. It's a Switch Lite, and it stopped charging. I don't know if it's him doing something or what, but it's very frustrating. Anyways, he's like, I want to play something. And I'm like, well, dude, like, you could play one of the Game Boys, I guess. And he grabbed that Game Boy Pocket, and I was like, dude, I don't think that works. See, I called him dude. I was like, dude, I don't think that works. But there's this thing that you can adjust the brightness on the screen, and it was all the way down.
Oh.
I never knew that. So it does work. So he's been playing games on that. And then Jasmine came in, and she seen he's playing the Game Boy, and she's like, where's the Game Boy Advanced? And I was like, oh, it's over there. So then she grabbed that and she was playing. So, like, we were all in here playing on, like, I had a DS. She's got a Game Boy Advance. He's got the Game Boy. And I was like, this is a good night.
Yeah.
So I've been playing a little bit of stuff on there, but mostly I've been playing on the Switch. I've been playing Zelda: Link to the Past. I've never beat this game. This is the furthest I've ever been in it. I'm a little over halfway through with the game now, and I really like it. But it's like, it's hard to go back to in Zelda, because, like, Breath of the Wild is fantastic. That's one of the greatest games ever made. But Zelda Breath of the Wild is one of my favorite games ever made. It's so good. After you play that, it's hard to go back. I just, I am enjoying it though, but it doesn't really have that like nostalgia thing to me because I never beat it before.
Yeah.
I've played it. I've started to play it a bunch of times, but never beat it. So it's more of like, I'm going to beat this because I never have at this point. And then once I'm done with that, I'm probably going to play Diablo again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I want to play games so bad, but every time I have any downtime, for one, the Switch of the Boys, we're supposed to send it back. It's boxed up and everything. I can't find the shipping label. And we had so many days to print it off, which I did, but I can't find it now. It's been months and months and months. But also,
I will be honest, at this point, like, it's gone so long, I'm just going to buy another one.
Okay.
It's frustrating.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's just, I'm going to buy you one.
Yeah.
And then I'll try to send Romans back. And then if I can't, I'll just buy him another one too.
Yeah.
I'm sick of buying all you guys Switches.
But I've never had my own.
I know.
But I don't ever pick up the other Switch or anything because when I have a spare moment, I want to read.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and also usually whenever you're like, oh yeah, I could play a game, it's because you see me playing a game. Well, then I have the Switch usually.
Or it's like if I want to, if I like Mario Odyssey, which technically I beat, but I haven't got.
You've done 100% of it. You beat the story, you're just not 100%.
And I want 100% it. And that's another problem. I can't get started on another game
until you finish.
And when I'm fixated on something else. But if I get it, I don't want anyone else to touch it.
Yeah, I know.
I want you to leave me alone. Like when I was playing that game, I would play it till it died and my thumbs were sore.
Yeah.
Like you'd be sleeping next to me and I'd just keep going and going and going. So
you were like that with Spyro too, though.
Yeah. See, and I've almost 100% that. Yeah. I haven't beat it though either.
I haven't even started those yet. And I never played Spyro.
Oh, I loved Spyro.
Yeah, I never played Spyro. So happy.
Gosh dang it, I forgot we had that on the Switch.
Yeah. Well, so here's like one of the big reasons why I want to finish out the cabin is because I would love for us to be sitting in a studio right now. I think that'd be fantastic and just have everything set up and ready to go. But B, the front half of it is going to be the outden, and and I want to be in there. Like I have it in my mind.
You want to be into the out?
I want to be in the out. I have it in my mind's eye where the TV is set up, the Switch is set up, everything is running perfectly, and me and you are sitting down on a nice couch or 2 matching recliners. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. And we're playing Mario because we started that Mario game.
Oh, yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
And it was the Mario 3D World, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that the one? And then Bowser's Castle or whatever.
I think so.
We started it, and you were like, "Promise me that you will not play this without me. We'll beat this together." And I was like, "Okay." And then you stopped playing video games.
Sorry.
But it's just not convenient.
Yeah.
But if it's out there, then it's like, yeah, what's an hour a night for us just to go out there for an hour? I know. And then it's like 6 a.m. and we're like, yeah, let's do this. But yeah, I'm just really looking forward to stuff like that. I'm looking forward to having a space to where we can go out and we can just do that. So, all right. Well, that was quite a bit there. So that's that is the games I've been playing, and I guess it's time. Are you ready?
I'm ready. You know I'm ready.
Let's get into this.
Here's what we're reading.
Well, I'll start us off.
Okay.
What I've been reading is nothing. I've not read anything I've not even read a sentence, I don't think.
Really?
Well, that's not true. Whenever I took the kids to the dentist, I read a little bit, but not too much. But honestly, I've been focusing on
video games.
Well, video games, but mostly I've been social media.
Yeah, you've been working.
Which sounds stupid, but like I am getting paid for social media now. So like it is technically a job.
Yes.
It's just a silly job.
It's a fun job.
It's a silly. I'm a silly boy. So, what have you been reading?
So, it looks like our last podcast came out on June 2nd. So, I don't know if I talked about these because I finished them on June 2nd. But King of Blood King of Battle and Blood by Scarlett St. Clair. She also is the one who does the Touch of Darkness series that I like so much. This one's about vampires. It was very good. I finished that. And A Force of Vanity and Velour by A.P. Beswick. This is someone who keeps showing up on my TikToks, so I got his book. It's a retelling of Robin Hood. Starting out, I wasn't that into it, and I was like, I don't know how this is a retelling. As I got into it more, it's a very good book. It's a very good story, so I really enjoyed that. Then I have read, again, Lexi Ryan, my favorite romance author. She has a series called The Black Hawk Boys. There's 5 books in the series. I have read all 5 of those. And then the ebook I just recently finished. I talked about it a little bit, I think, on our last podcast. It was a big disappointment. 50 Shades of Grey.
Let's get in this. You hated this book so much.
This book. I hate it. I wasn't too big on the grammar. The dialogue, I just hated. The main characters, hate them both, and there's no character development. And I know if you've read the series.
No, you said something so funny yesterday. You were just like, I just read the book, and I finished it, and there was no climax. I mean, they climaxed, but there was no climax. So that's the thing. I know if you've read the series, what you're going to say. Oh, no, you've got to read more. She changes him. She makes him better. Why?
First off, I think that is terrible. Just terrible. You should not stay in any sort of relationship where someone has to change to treat you better. We all change and we all help each other change in relationships, and that's great. But if you're with someone in the beginning and they make you feel skeezy and they make you feel upset and stuff, I'm just going to say I don't encourage you to keep being with that person, because maybe they will change. But maybe wait until they can change completely before going back. I don't know if that's what she does. I don't think it is.
Are you going to keep going?
Yes.
You're going to keep reading the book just to finish the series?
No. I finished the book.
I meant, are you going to finish the series?
Again, I'm a completionist. I'm going to try not to.
Oh my God.
But
you're going
so
to.
here's the thing, okay?
You pathetic.
Towards the end.
Pathetic.
Listen, towards the end of this book, again, I don't understand what's even so special about this book. They are seeing each other. They haven't known each other very long. They're in love. Whatever. It's so annoying. But he gets like this phone call and he's like, I gotta go. There's this situation. I was like, okay, something's happening.
Spoiler alert.
Something's happening. There's nothing to spoil. Trust me. And every once in a while, she'll like email him, and they friggin' email back and forth like one-line sentences. And I know it's in 2011, but she also has a BlackBerry, and texting was a thing then. So I don't know what's up with these emails, but it's driving me up the wall. I hate it so much. Anyways, like to me, an email is something for more content and dialogue and stuff. But whatever. So she'll ask him, "How's the situation?" He'll be like, well, the situation's still going on, but I'm handling it, and keeps going on. So I'm like, all right, what's the situation? What's going to happen? Nothing. I'm sure it's going to continue in the second book, but that's not how books are supposed to end.
Right.
I'm supposed to know somewhat. That makes me say, oh my God, how are they going to take care of this? I don't know. For all I know, the situation is his stocks plummeted in his company. I don't care what the situation is. You got to make me care what the situation is.
Yeah.
I hate this book so much.
I know.
So much. I gave it 1 star because I didn't know if I could give 0. Okay?
Yeah. I think that
I hate it.
It's
hate it.
amazing to me as like I only know about this book from what you've talked about. And how is this so successful?
I don't know. And I'm sorry to the author. I apologize. I'm so sorry. But and from what I heard, because every other person I know who is an avid reader hates it as well. And I was talking to someone at work the other day, and they're like, well, it's got started as a fan fiction from Twilight. And I was like, that's another series. I hated that movie, but I always thought, should I give the series a chance? And he said, no,
yeah,
don't.
I wouldn't. Yeah. Don't only read what you feel like you're for sure going to be interested in. Don't read what other people tell you should be.
Well, no, it's just like I don't want to base it on the movie, because we all know that's a bad idea. Don't base a book on the movie.
Yeah.
So right now, the only 2 books I'm reading is Catcher in the Rye. It's my bathroom book. And then the Sandman graphic novel series that we are reading with my sister. I'm working on that. It's taken me a while.
You hate it so much. Like, I know Amber listens to this, but I'm just going to be straight up. Amber gave you homework to you, and you're so, like, every night whenever you read it.
I feel like I'm failing. I feel like I'm failing the assignment because I'm not
so
very
funny.
far.
It's so funny.
And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm going to get, like, in so much trouble. I'm not going to get in trouble, but I'm like, I'm going to let her down because I'm not getting through this. Because it hasn't sucked me in yet. I
think it will. So if you keep going, once you catch up to at least where I'm at, it will suck you in.
Yeah.
Because then it ties it into universes that you're familiar with, and you're going to go, oh.
Yeah.
So.
And that's what I hear, because everyone I bring up Neil Gaiman to, they're like, oh my God, and the Sandman series and everything.
And also it's about to be a Netflix series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the Sandman?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So those are the only two things I'm reading, and I promised my sister I would not pick up an actual hard copy of a book until I got through the Deluxe Edition, which took me forever to figure out what is in it. It is volumes 1 and 2.
Yeah, so you were super confused by that.
Yes,
and
it doesn't say it on there.
I know, but then like even whenever I was trying to talk to you about it last night, and I was like, no, it's because it's you're like, no, that's not right, and I'm like, no, it's the issues, and you're like, I have an issue with this, and I'm like, no,
but no, I understand how like graphic novels and stuff work. A graphic novel is comprised of a certain amount of just regular paperback issues.
Right.
Okay. I know that. The problem I couldn't figure out is how many issues are in volume 1. Just so you know, volume 1 has 1 through 8. Volume 2 has 9 through 16. The Deluxe Edition has 1 through 16.
With also a side story in the middle.
In the middle. So that was throwing me off too, because I was like,
well, that's
what
why I gave you
the
the actual trade paperback. I just handed that to you and just said, just read this.
Yeah,
just read the trade paperback.
That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, and then I'll just start buying the trade papaperbacks.
Yeah.
I'll probably also get the deluxe editions because I
well, we started the collection, so now we got to finish it. So that's what I got going on. Once I get through these first 2 issues of the Sandman, or at least the first trade paperback issue, I don't know what I'll read next. I have a lot of things on my shelves. I don't have any books. Actually, shoot, I have one more Katie book, so I'll probably read that. I was going to say I don't have any more books I've borrowed, because that always makes me feel like I gotta read those. But
there's so many. Oh, I'm pulling Chia. I'm yawning. There's so many books that I want to read right now, but I'm not in a reading mood. Like I'm in a gaming mood, and I just know how I am. Like I just have to, I just got to do the Vigi game.
But you'll switch gears, whereas I won't. Like if I quit reading for too long, it takes me a while to get back into it. Which, by the way, how many books have you read so far this year, and what was your goal?
Okay, I guess we'll do. That's time to make fun of Jake, everyone.
I'm sure it's not bad.
Yeah. So again, we keep track of this on Goodreads, the Goodreads app, which we both highly recommend. So my goal is 40 books for the year. I'm at 22.
Nice.
So I'm still 4 books ahead of schedule.
Okay. So my goal for the year was 20. I am 31 books ahead of schedule because I have read 40, so I'm at 200% my reading goal. So like literally
hit my goal.
Yeah. So and I've surpassed what I did last year.
Yeah.
So
at this point, like I'm not even mad. I'm so impressed. You've read so much while working constantly.
Yeah.
Like it's not like you're just laying around not doing anything. Like I made a post one time about reading, and like somebody commented on there, and they were just like, "Oh, I would love to read, but I just don't have the time." And I wasn't trying to be a jerk. I was just like, "Well, what are you doing with your time?" Like I wasn't trying to be a jerk. It's just like, "Well, if you really want to read, like, what are you doing?" No, what I said was, I was just like, I totally get it. It's just like for us, like, we make time for like the thing that's important to us, and they're like, "Well, it's more important for me to take care of my kids," and like got like mad at me. And I was just like, dude, like, I get it, but at the same time, like, do you read when you go to the bathroom? Mm-hmm. You're on your phone right now talking to me.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not trying to be a jerk by any means, and I know everybody's got different things going on in their life, but I just look at what you're doing, and, like, you work constantly.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, that's the thing is like when people have downtime and they're sitting there scrolling through Facebook, I'll do that for a minute, but then I flip over to my ebook.
right.
Like those 5 Black Hawk Boys books I read, literally in probably a little over a week, 5 books, were all ebooks.
Right.
I will read them at work, like if I have a patient down at the end of the hall and I just went and seen that patient, like took him a water or something, I'm heading back to the nurse station, I will read it and walk. I will read it while walking out to my car and on my 15-minute breaks. Like,
Yeah, well, that's like I was saying, whenever I took the kids to the dentist office, I took a book with me. Yesterday, whenever we were going to the park, I took a book with me. And I didn't read it, but like I took it with me just in case something came up to
just
where it's like,
always have
okay.
one.
Yeah, like and also like, I never know when the mood is going to hit me to where, like you were saying, like I switch gears really quick. And I mean, literally, I could be halfway through a day, and then it's just like, I'm not into this anymore. I'm into this now. Like it's, I'm a drug addict. Like that's just the way that our brains work. My brain, I guess I can't lump us all together, but that's just the way my brain works. So like I could literally be like comics, and then I'm like video games, and then I'm like, no, I need a book, board games, like fish tanks, like music, like it's like so many different things, and it literally changes to where like I hyper fixate on those things for a while, and it's just right now it's video games.
Yeah.
So everything else is just kind of taking a back seat because whenever I do really get into something, it's usually like that thing consumes my time. Like whenever I am on Facebook, I'm on Marketplace looking at video games. I'm watching YouTube videos on video games. I'm reading reviews on video games. I just get so hyper fixated on these things where it's like, that's what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. And then one day it'll just be like, okay. And it's just kind of weird. It's almost like, it's like you'll be eating something and it's like, this is what you're craving and you're eating it and it's so good. And then you'll just out of nowhere see like a strawberry milkshake and be like, oh my God, that sounds like the most delicious thing ever. And then that's all you can think about. That's kind of the same thing with me to where it's like, I'm into this. And then it's like, I'll just see a board game. I'll just see one and be like, oh my God, I want to play that so bad. Yeah. And then I start looking into it a little bit more, and then it's just a snowball effect. And it's like, now board games consume my life.
That's like, for me, the only 2 things I'm really into are TV and books as far as like hobbies. And I do like video games. I'll get stuck on one for a while, but for the most part.
And board games.
Yeah. But for the most part, it's TV and books. So it's not that hard. And honestly, had you not, I watched a lot of Game of Thrones the past 2 nights because I was off, and Jake would play his game while I watched Game of Thrones. But had you not been here, like when you go on the road, what I would have done was I would have started watching Game of Thrones and maybe watched for an hour or something. Then I would have paused and I would have read. Yeah. I would have read anywhere from 20 minutes to 2 hours. Right. And then I would have put that down and started folding laundry and watch TV. And I don't know, I might get through half an episode, might watch 2. And then I'll stop. And I'll, like, in the middle of an episode, be like, I think I'm done for a minute. And pause it and go back to reading. And I do that literally all night long while you're gone. Yeah. Go back and forth, back and forth.
You know, but I think that leads us, that's a perfect thing to lead us right into our next thing.
Yeah.
And now it's time for a mental health check-in with Chia and Jake. Or Jake and Chia, depending on who wants their name first.
Yeah, I just feel like that doing things like that is so I think it's important for us not to let other standards basically be put upon us to where it's like, oh, well, this is how you do something. This is how you do it. When you clean, you clean. When you do that, when it's relaxing, whatever it is, like, I don't think it's fair for us to put society standards on us and say, well, this is how we have to do it. Like, for me, I'm really into these things, but not so much so to where, like, I know everything about these things. Right. I know a little bit about a lot. And I kind of prefer it like that. To me personally, I would rather know a little about a lot than a lot about a little. And I understand that a lot of people are the opposite, where they would rather be like experts on something.
Right.
And that's totally fine. Like
if that's what you want to do, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. That's totally fine. It's not a big deal. But for me personally, I just feel like I like having a lot of interests spread out because I can find common ground with so many different people this way. And I've done it throughout the years where I'll be talking to somebody and they'll be like, oh, I love Thor. And I'll be like, oh, dude, do you like the movies or do you like the comics? And they're like, oh, I like the comics. And I'm like, oh, well, let's talk about it because I collect some of those or something like that. That's just like, I can find common ground with people pretty quickly on things. And I enjoy that. I like the human connection. So I think that whenever we try to say, like what you were saying, like you'll watch TV, then pause it, then clean, then do this, then do that. Then that is how your brain works. That is how you work. That's the best thing for you.
I literally had one evening, I think last year, where you were gone. I started off the day just laying around watching TV, and then I read, and then I did some housework. And then when the sun started to go down, it was still out, but it wasn't so hot outside. I went out and mowed for a while. And then I came in and took a shower. And then I watched TV and I cleaned and then I read and it just...
Well, I feel like that's how you've always been, though. You're a rabbit houseworker. You hop around to different tasks. You don't fixate on one thing and then it has to be perfect. Because to you see everything that needs to be done. And so for me personally, whenever I clean or work on something, I like to focus on that one thing and get it done. Like if it's the room, then I'm like, okay, the room is today. I'm going to fixate on this and this is what I'm going to do. And then I know that there's other things, I'll get to that later. But for you, you're like, okay, all of this needs done. So I'm going to chip away at all of it at once, basically.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm going to do this, then I'm going to go do that. Like, I'll clean the kitchen needs clean, so I'll go do the dishes. And then I'm going to come back and watch TV. And then I'm going to fold some laundry because that needs done. And then I'm going to go back and scrub the kitchen. And like, bounce around.
I'll do the laundry and then I'll be like, okay, now I got to put all these dish rags away. So while I'm putting all the dish rags away, I'm going to go wipe down the counters and sweep the floor and stuff. But I do one thing, but it's going to take me back to that other thing so I can complete that task.
But I guess what I was getting into with the mental health check-in is that we are two completely different people when it comes to this. We have two completely different styles of cleaning. But most of it is just that we don't want to.
We're in agreement about that.
But like we have two different styles, so I don't expect you to do things the way that I guess that let's do this mental health check-in on a couple. We've never done this before. Let's do it a little different. Instead of it being a single mental health check-in, let's talk about where we're at.
Ooh, I like that.
Okay, so I like the fact that we are two different people with this thing, and we can talk about other things, but like right now we'll focus on like cleaning.
Okay,
two completely different people whenever it comes to this. And you don't expect me to clean the way that you want me to clean. And I appreciate that about you because I can't do that.
Yeah.
Like I can't do a little here, a little there. I have to do all here, all there.
So much so that like I don't want you around when I clean.
Yeah.
Because you will get fixated on that one thing, but then you're in that one spot and I'm like, okay, well, now you're in my way.
Right.
Because I'm hopping over here for a minute.
Well, also, I like to do the task. So, like, let's say, we're in our room, so that's what we keep saying, that needs cleaned.
Yeah.
So that's why we keep talking. What I'm saying is you should clean the room. No, but like if I'm cleaning the room, if we're cleaning it together, which usually doesn't work. Like it's hard for us to work together because I'll be doing it and then like 15 minutes later, like you're laying down on your phone, which is fine. That's the way you do it, is that you space things out. And then I'm like, well, I don't want to take a break, but if I don't take a break, then I'm going to be doing the majority of the work while she's breaking. And so I'll take a break, but then I don't want to get going again.
Yeah.
And I know that that's how I am. So I do like the fact of us being like here, it's been hard here lately because there's a lot of things that need done. And it's like I sometimes wish I was more like you because I get overwhelmed. Whenever there's all these things that need done, I'm like, it's almost like I'm like, what is the use in doing any of it?
Yeah.
To where with you, you're like, no, I'll just chip away at all of it a little bit.
When the laundry's piled up, we don't have a lot of dirty clothes, but we got a ton of clean clothes because I'm just like, as long as I can get them washed in the dryer and in a basket in our room, we'll have something clean to wear.
Yeah.
So when I see like a mountain of it, we're both like, oh, crap, I don't want to do that. But then I switch gears. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to separate them all. This is going to be the boys' basket, Jasmine's basket, me and Jake's basket, and this is going to be all the linens. And when that's done, I might take a break. And then I'm like, well, everyone in the house needs towels, so I'm going to make sure all the linens are done first. And then I that's just how I slowly, even like with the boys' clothes, like all their shirts, because of limitations on space, have to be hung up. And then everything else gets folded and put in drawers. So I throw all the shirts to the side and I fold everything and put it in a basket and take it upstairs because maybe now I might have to find a shirt for the next day, but I don't have to find the whole outfit, you know?
Well, also, okay, so again, we're not normal.
No.
But I think it's okay to not be normal.
Yes.
Like, so instead of trying to change your life to fit what you think everybody else's life is, you have no idea. Like, you have no idea. Whenever you go to somebody's house and you're like, oh my gosh, their house is so clean, there's a reason why they don't let you go to their bedroom. Everything that was in the rest of the house is shoved in that bedroom right then. And there are some people who keep their house super clean, whatever. But I'm just saying, like, you know, objects don't always appear. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
But so for us, like what we're going to do, instead of being like, okay, we got to put these clothes up, we got to do this. It's like that. Okay, we've been together for like 17 years now. We've never done that. We're not going to.
Nope.
It's been almost 2 decades that we've been together.
I've just accepted it.
So instead, we're going to change our life around that. So when we add on to our room, whenever we finish the room and we do the second half of it, we're doing a big closet. And I told you a while back, I was like, what if we just do like a really nice folding table in the closet somewhere up against the wall? We'll have like a really nice table to fold clothes. And then underneath it, every person can have their own bin. A big one, bigger than a laundry basket, because there's going to be a lot of clothes in that. And like, that's where all the clean clothes go.
Yeah. And then if I have time, I can pull, one bin out, use that table to fold and put away.
Yeah.
But if not, I'm sorry, kids. If you don't put your clothes away, they're not away. Go look in that bin.
Well, and they're all close. They're all getting to the age now to where like their clothes don't even need to be in here.
I don't fold her clothes very often anymore.
Yeah, we shouldn't.
Yeah.
Like that makes me so upset. I'm like, just do it yourself, guys.
Yeah.
Mostly her. I'm like, you're a teenager now. Come on. But like, I don't care to wash the stuff that much. It's like, just get it out of my room. Don't just leave it in here. But again, it's going to be out of sight, out of mind. If it's just not right, like right now, the way their room's set up is like all that stuff is like on the floor in front of our bed. It's just uncomfortable for me. So if we just move it, so like, I guess, mental health this week, let's talk about a little bit about figure out the things that are going on in your life that you don't like and learn to accept that thing. That's who you are. Dude, it's totally fine.
You don't have to be perfect.
It's totally fine. And is there something you can do to just rearrange your life around that one thing you can't change? Some things we can't change.
Yeah.
Like, can we change the laundry situation? Yes.
Yeah.
Why?
Why stress about it?
This is who we are.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Well, and what I was going to say is whenever I do my little hopping back and forth of things is I get overwhelmed at times with work and kids and cleaning and having that mind frame like, oh, everything should be perfect. I have plenty of hours in the day. You also just have to take care of your mental health by doing self-care in whatever form that is. Reading, taking an hour-long bath, going on a run, something you enjoy. And I'm sorry, but if the housework goes to the wayside because of that, who cares?
Right.
Who cares? Now, we all know that can be a cycle, though. you get in
There's
a
a
funk.
balance.
Yeah, you get in a funk and the house gets dirty. And then you're in a funk because the house is dirty, so it gets
Right.
dirtier. So one thing I like to do to kind of keep myself from getting there and bringing myself into a funk, and I don't know if this will work for everyone, but it works for me. I have a mantra in my head: leave it better than you found it. So if I go in the kitchen and I see that there's a sink full of dishes and we have a dishwasher, my leave it better than you found it is I open the dishwasher. If there's clean dishes in there, I put them up. With the understanding that if that's all I do, that's okay because I left it better. Now, sometimes, though, that triggers something in me where it only going to take 5 or 10 minutes to load the dishwasher. Why don't I just load it?
Yeah.
And then that'll trigger something. Now, not always. Sometimes I just unload the dishwasher. I'm like, I got to go lay down. But I still feel good because I left it better than I found it.
Yeah.
Same way with, the trash. Like if I go throw something away and I see it's full, I just want to shut that trash drawer and walk away. But if that mantra pops in my head, I'm like, all I got to do is pull it out, put new trash bags in it, and throw it away. And literally it's going to make the kitchen feel better, smell better, just have a better flow.
Right.
With the understanding that if all I do is take out the kitchen or take out the trash, even though the sink is full of dishes, even though the counters need wiped down, that's okay. Sometimes, like I said, it triggers me to keep doing one little task after one little task. I don't ever go in the kitchen and think, I'm going to clean this whole thing.
Right.
I'll never go in the bathroom
Me neither,
and think
dude.
that. I'll look in, especially summer, the kids are here the whole time. I'll look in the living room and be like, oh my God, it's so trashed. No, I'll look and be like, and I know I should make my kids do more. That's part of it. But if they're all sleeping.
I balance that out.
Yeah,
Because I'm like,
you
do this.
But if they're all sleeping, I get off work in the morning, so the house is nice and quiet when I come home. So if I look around, there's dirty clothes on the floor. I'm like, I'm just going to pick those dirty clothes up. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that triggers me to do more. Other times, I just pick the dirty clothes up and I go to bed.
Yeah. I think the moral of this story here is that just like be okay with you.
Yeah.
Like I think that so many times we try to change. Like, okay, my health is a perfect example of this.
Yeah.
A lot of time, like I'm pretty comfortable with my weight. Oh, could I lose a little bit of weight? Yeah. But it's like it's most like a health thing at this point, to where it's just like, okay, I probably should. Like I don't feel like I'm fat.
No.
I'm just chubby.
Comfortably.
And, yeah, I'm comfortably chubby.
Well, not that
chubby.
comfortable anymore because your blood pressure's up.
Exactly. So like just making these subtle changes, but like I'm not going to stress about it. Like I'm not going to do what everybody else does. I'm not going to go to the gym all the time. I'm not going to eat this diet like the way that these people do. I know me. And I think like it's so important just to know who we are. Like I know who I am. I know the way that my mind is going to work. If I jump full force into something, I'm going to fall away from it. Anyone that's been listening to this podcast for the last couple of years knows how often me and Chi are like, we're going to do this diet. We're going to eat healthy. And then like a month later, we're like, I ate so many Twinkies.
Or we're like posting pictures of us going to do game night with like boxes of snack cakes and chips and salsa.
Yeah, and then people are calling us out and they're like, what happened to that diet? And it's like, shut up.
It's on pause. A very long pause.
So like I just know who I am, but like it's different this time because this is important. It's health. It's not because I want to look a specific way. It's not because people make me feel a specific way. Dude, I don't care. Whatever. Like if you're upset about my weight, what's going on with you?
Right.
Like, dude, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But I'm not health-wise, so we're making some changes.
Yeah.
But like I'm going to do it the way that I know. Like I know that walking for 40 minutes a day is nothing. But like and I do walk whenever I'm on the road. I walk a lot more because I like exploring. I like looking at things. But like here lately, I've not been doing anything. Like I've been mowing and I like. But I'm sitting on a mower the whole time, you know? And it's like whenever I weed eat, I walk around to weed eat. But like, I'm just saying that I'm not going to do the things that everybody says I should do it this specific way. I'm going to do it the way that I want to do it because I know that that's how I can do it.
Yeah.
So I guess to wrap this whole thing up, know you.
Yeah.
Be okay with you. And the things that are bothering you about your life, is that something that's just who you are and you can make changes around that thing? Mm-hmm. Or is that something that you feel like you should change? The laundry, I understand that's such a small thing to people. I'm just using it as an example. Mm-hmm. We are never going to be the people that put all of our clothes away all the time.
Nope.
We will always be the people with clothes somewhere.
Yep.
It bothers us to see it all the time.
Yeah. If it had its own place in its baskets, that's fine.
And that's what we're going to do.
I would rather that. Why do I have to put them all up? Because they're going to get wrinkly. You get an iron or you throw them in the dryer for a little bit, boom.
Yeah.
Wrinkles out.
Yeah. Dude, I just don't care. You know what I mean? I just don't care. It's such a small thing. Mm-hmm. It's such a little thing to where it's like, okay, this has been a thing. It has started many arguments with us.
Yeah.
It has started so many arguments where I'm like, why is everyone in this house's clothes in my room? Mm-hmm. Everyone's, including your mom's.
Yeah, they get thrown in.
Everyone's clothes are in here. Why? I'm like, why is it our responsibility to do all of this? And instead of it hasn't changed in the 8 years we've been here. Mm-hmm. It's never changed. It's never going to change.
I do want to point out that my mom's clothes end up here by accident. She doesn't like throw her clothes in here.
Yeah. So I'm not saying that she's just like, well, you're doing them now.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, if they all had their space.
Yeah.
So that's a small, simple fix that we can do for this thing that we understand. We won't change. The symptom will always be the symptom. Yeah. So this is just how we're going to take care of it.
Yeah.
So figure out what's going on in your life that's bugging you, that you feel like you would like to make a change, and then figure out, do I want to make this change for me or for other people?
Yeah, and remember, unless you want to, you don't have to do it all at once. That's kind of like our yearly theme.
Yeah.
We don't like to call them resolutions because every year we're just focusing on one word to try to, by the end of that year, we've created a better habit.
Notice what you said, by the end of that year.
Yes.
Like, again, we are over halfway through this year.
And this is our year of health.
And we've done 0 for it.
Yeah.
But it's always, like, we bring it up a lot. Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, this is supposed to be our year of health. Maybe we should do this, or maybe we should do that. So I think anybody who's listened to this podcast for a while knows a lot of times we wait until the very end to do our schoolwork. So it's like, it's going to be November and we're like, okay, now we're making these changes. Yeah. But a lot of times those changes do stick.
And then they roll over into next year. That's the whole goal of the yearly theme, is to create one new habit in your life that year.
Yeah.
That rolls over from year to year to year. So yeah. That's our whole thing this year.
Yeah. So, like I said, just figure out what's going on. The biggest thing is just like take care of you. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Is just take care of you. Don't worry about what other people are saying or doing. None of that matters. So, sometimes whenever people do things for us, though, it is nice.
It is.
Speaking of which,
yes,
I love our segues.
Thank you to the Patreon Blessed Ones.
Now, I do want to say this real quick about our Patreon Blessed Ones, is that I took this month off for the most part. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't have a job where it's like I can take vacation time or anything like that. I can't do that. If I take time off, no money comes in. And it probably wasn't the best time because I took this month off with knowing that I was only going to do like 2 shows. Mm-hmm. And then we got the cabin delivered. Yeah. And it was like materials are so expensive.
Oh, so expensive.
There's no way I could have gotten started on our studio if it wasn't for our Patreon supporters. Mm-hmm. Also, there's no way that I would have been comfortable taking time off if it wasn't for our Patreon supporters. Yeah. So the show's free, obviously. And we appreciate everybody who downloads the show. We appreciate everybody who shares and talks about it. It means a lot to us. We do appreciate that. But the Patreon supporters, those of you who take the time to be like, you know what, I'm just going to throw a couple dollars a month at these guys. I see what they're doing. I appreciate it. I'm just going to give them, just support them a little bit. I don't think you realize how much it actually means to us. Mm-hmm. it does mean a lot to us, and I can't wait to do a video walkthrough of whenever the shed is finished.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so excited to do that. So just want to give a shout out and thank you so much to our Patreon supporters. We want to thank Rebel, Nathan, Amber, Veronica, Shan, Fawn, Danielle, Lindsay, and Pam. Thank you so much for month after month just supporting us. And we promise we're going to do some new stuff for the Patreon. We've been talking about it a lot, and we're trying to figure out like what makes the most sense. I've been thinking of a couple ideas. One thing I was thinking about maybe doing is if you are a Patreon supporter, no matter what tier you are in, maybe there's like a Facebook group for us to where we can communicate.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
And then basically have you're like a producer of the show. So to where you can submit topic of the show.
Yes,
to
that's
where,
a good idea.
And then like basically everybody could vote on it or something. Or like we could just do different things like that. I feel like we're getting enough Patreon supporters now to where we could do something like that. So I don't know. I think
we could do like Patreon book recommendations and game recommendations and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think that it would just be yeah. So almost like a group within the group, because we have the Facebook group Jake and Chia Rubles Blessed Ones. That's just like a group for people who like the podcast. But maybe like a Patreon supporter group. So just a Laugh and Be Blessed Patreons, or Laugh and Be Blessed Blessed Ones, or something like that. I don't know. So something that we're thinking about, but just to show you guys how much we do care, and we want to be a community. So we want to talk with you guys more and just figure out what do you want from the show. So yeah, thank you so much. If you want to be a Patreon supporter, super easy to do so. Go to patreon.com/laughandbeblessed, and you can choose from the 3 different tiers there. Just throw us a couple dollars every month if you have it. If you don't worry about it.
And make sure you like and subscribe.
Yep. Comment. Whatever. Share all of that stuff. So we're gonna wrap this up. Chia's got to go to work. So I know. I'm sorry, but I'm going to, for next week, I think I am going to come up with a topic of the show. I'm probably going to post a couple different options in our Facebook group right now. Let's come up with a topic of the show. We haven't done one for a while because usually we're just playing so much catch up that by the time that we're caught up with everything, it's over an hour. So going to do the topic of the show. So go to Jake and Chia Rubles Blessed Ones on Facebook and vote on the topic that you want us to talk about next time. So thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for not being here, because that'd be creepy.
And you have full room.
Yeah.
Actually, the two people, our Patreon people, don't even listen. They're like, just give them some money.
Just let them know. It's fine. It's fine. So thank you guys so much. We really do appreciate it. And hopefully I'll see you at a show soon. You can go to jakerubel.com. For whatever reason, I've not kept up to date with it. I'm the worst at everything in life, except for being a friend. So
thank you for being a friend.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much. I love you, and have a great week. And if anything happens this week that gets you down and you don't know what to do, and your clothes are piling up and you don't have a closet to put them in yet, all you have to do is just stop for a second and
laugh and be blessed.